Greetings and welcome to episode 17 of Print All the Things. Thank you so much for listening. My name is Buona, and we're going to be talking about the week's worth of 3D printing news and the week's worth of my prints and the things that I printed and just a week's worth of things. I don't even know what a week's worth means, but I said it. Today we're going to be talking about some news. There's some exciting news I want to share with you all. By no means, this is not all that's happening. This is just the things that I want to talk about because I have some insight into them. So don't be like, Buona, why aren't you talking about this? Why aren't you talking about that? That happened over there, Buona. Why aren't you talking? We're just going to talk about the things we're going to talk about. First thing I'm going to talk about is Hueforge. If you haven't been following this story, Hueforge is a piece of software that was written by a member of the 3D printing community. And it's very unique. I never thought I'd actually enjoy this. When I heard of the concept, I was like, I don't know if that's going to work out. But imagine 3D printing a 2D portrait. That's essentially what's going on. You use Hueforge to the software. That's what it is. It's Hueforge's software. And you build these models based on portraits. And you can tell the printing software to basically make a color change as you go about each layer. So you're creating these very, very unique looking portraits that you can frame, you can put on your walls and put on your desk or what have you. I guess it's sort of like a take on like lithophane. You know how you can take a photo and you can make a lithophane lamp and stuff like that. This is a similar concept, but it's very unique that people are taking this and run with it. The software came out. It was an alpha, it was been teased. People were putting out STLs and they were trying things out. But now Hueforge is actually out. And Polymaker had a great deal with it. I don't know if it's still going on. I have to check with them. Polymaker had a deal that they would match your Polymaker filament order with a coupon towards your Hueforge purchase, it was a really cool collaboration between my sponsor Polymaker and Hueforge. And it's partly how I found out about it. I follow some members of the Polymaker community on Twitter, and they were posting these photos, and I was like, what in the world is this? And looked into it, and Hueforge is the name. Now, there's various prices here. They're ranging all the way up from just a personal license, which is like $12, all the way up to like a lifetime license, a professional commercial lifetime license, all the way up to $175. It's on sale. So if you want to look into this, you want to get into this, you might want to get in on it now. Now, the different licenses, they correspond to whether you want to sell the prints or whether you want to sell the STLs. So that's the various levels of the commercial license, where you want to sell the prints that you make via your shops or wherever you want to go to a trade show or something. Or if you want to sell the actual physical the digital STL files, which is a market in itself. So look at the licenses that are available on the site. I'll put the links in the show description, and you can decide which license is best for you. I'm assuming you can always upgrade the license. So if you want to start out, get the lowest level license to start out and using the product, and go from there. And then you can see if you want to upgrade. You want to start selling some stuff. Use a commercial license, and maybe you may even want to go for the lifetime license if you don't want to renew. These are yearly, from what I understand. These are yearly licenses that you have to pay every year. So if you just know you're going to be all in on this, you can just go ahead and splurge for the lifetime license and go for that. That's Hueforge. Go check it out. I'll put the link in the show description. The next thing I want to talk about is something to do with my printer. This is the BambuLab printer. I have the BambuLab P1P. And let me tell you, this was a breath of fresh air because let me tell you, I had some gripes about the BambuLab printer. And this was one of them. When you start a print and you print to the cloud, which is the default option, it uploads the file that you want your G code or what have you in a zip file and all the stuff, all the information, 3MFs, things to the cloud. And then it uploads to the cloud. Then it has to download it to your printer. And then it unzips it. And then it starts the print process. And when I tell you that this took way too long, I was complaining about this day one. People were like, oh, it's not so bad. You can just go do other things. You can go plant a garden, or you can go out and you can frolic with your horses, or you can do backflips in the backyard and hopefully not fall with your family. Ha 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 ha. No, it took way too long. So this new update to the firmware has drastically reduced the time to the point to where it's not even a concern anymore, because by the time that I click print and I walk over to the printer or I do something else, it's already starting its initialization. It's that fast. And honestly, that's how fast it should have been from the get-go. So I'm really happy that Bambu is improving on this. And you can see from the video shown here that the previous version took a lot longer, took a whole lot longer than the new version. So if you do have a Bambu P1P and you haven't updated your firmware, this is one of those must-haves. This is one of those versions of the firmware that you actually can benefit from today. So I'll put the link to the tweet where Bambu shows off the comparison. Also, you can just you can download the firmware update via the BambuLab slicer, or you can go from the printer, do it from the printer itself. Got to be connected to Wi-Fi, of course. So that is a big story to me. That was huge, and I've been enjoying my Bambu prints. Oh, this just saves so much time. I mean, just the other day I was printing some things. One of the prints I'm going to show you today, I printed some parts on the Mini, on my Prusa Mini, and some parts on the Bambu. So I clicked print on both of them at the same time. The Mini was like on layer 5 by the time this thing even got started, even though, the Bambu kicked in and, did this thing with the speed. And, it was like fast, and then it started going. But it just took so long to get started. So lots of time is going to be saved, and I'm all about time saving. So check it out. The Bambu firmware, I think it's 1.3.0.0. Definitely need to check it out. And while we're on the topic of software updates, this one's huge too. Not as huge to me because I've been using it for a while. I've been using the alpha version. PrusaSlicer 2.6 is now in release. It is out. And this is the big PrusaSlicer release. And I've been using it for a long time. I've been on the alpha chains. I've been on the beta chains. And I'm pretty much used to it now. 2.6 has a lot of new features that I'm not going to cover here. I'm going to link you to the blog post, which talks about them in detail. But I'm going to tell you about a couple of my favorites. Number one, organic supports. This is Prusa's take on Cura's very awesome tree supports. They're called organic supports. Prusa did some changes to them, did some optimizations, contributed to code, followed open source practices. Very cool. They renamed them to organic supports, but you can just call them tree supports if you want to. Easily my favorite feature of PrusaSlicer 2.6, because it has changed the game for me. Because I was always jealous of Cura's tree supports, but I never was good at I never was good at Cura Slicer. Like I tried to use it and I was like, man, I just can't get around this UI and stuff. And it was a learning curve for me. It wasn't that the software was bad. It's just I didn't know how to use it as well as I knew how to use PrusaSlicer. Now I got tree supports here, got the best of both worlds. This is amazing that this is available now. So Prusa has added organic support. So that is really cool. The next thing that I like is automatic support painting. Now, if you've ever done any type of print with PrusaSlicer or any type of slicing with PrusaSlicer where you have to paint supports and you have to go to certain parts of the model to paint those things, but you have to use a little paintbrush. You have to put the brush size down, make sure you get it right, and then you accidentally click something like, oh, I got to erase it, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes it can be a little bit of a pain. They have added a feature now where if you go to the paint tool in PrusaSlicer and you just click automatic printing, boom, it will just automatically print. Or, I'm sorry, it will automatically paint where it thinks you need to be painted. Now, this is a little bit different from their overhang detection stuff. This is a little bit more intelligent that they had before. And then you can take that and you can start removing things that you think are a little bit redundant. Like, no, I don't think I need supports here. I don't need supports here. It's a very good starting point. Because that's what I used to do. I used to go in here and put an overhang angle, and I used to say, enforce that. And I say, all right, let me just take away some of the things that I think I can get away with. Automatic FDM support painting, very cool. And there's some more intelligence stuff in here as well. So like I said, a lot of other features. I'm not going to go through all these. There's some emboss tools, some cut tools, and just some amazing stuff you can do with that. And dynamic overhang speed and blah. It's just, man, probably the biggest PrusaSlicer update I have seen since I started 3D printing a few years ago. This is a huge one. So I'm congratulations to Prusa 2.6. Looks like a winner. If you've ever used PrusaSlicer, this should definitely be a reason to upgrade. So check it out. It's over there. Okay, now it's time to talk about what I printed for the week. What did I want to print? Well, we're going to first go to Optimus Primal. I showed you in the last episode, we printed Optimus Primal's head. And this week we have Mr. Hangy Boy. We've got the print in place figure. Printed this in a Polymaker yellow. This is a a word I'm escaping my mind. This is from the Easter pack, Pastel. Pastel colors. That's the word I'm looking for. Pastel colors. I'm going to have them talk to you. This is a yellow from that Easter pack that I got, and I really like this color. It's a really nice pastel color. And this is one of these. It reminds me of the sloth. If you've ever printed the hanging sloth, and I had it hanging on my, I had the sloth hanging on my MK3S for a while. This is one of those things where you can like hang on your printer when you're not using it, just as decoration or as backdrop, or just have it hanging around your office or something. If you watch the Transformers movie, you'll recognize this guy. I have not watched the Transformers movie yet. I know. Buona. Gasp. How can you do such a thing? I haven't watched it yet. But this is a nice print. Didn't take that long. I printed this on the Bambu P1P. Really easy print. I think I did use a brim and supports. I tend to do that nowadays. And once I took the brims off and the supports off, you know, the movement was very free and fluent after that point. So this is the Optimus Primal print in place, available on printables.com, officially from Paramount Pictures. That's a lot of P's for one sentence. So you can download the STL today. Check it out. I'll give you the link in the show description. The next set of prints I'm going to show you are the Super Mario Brothers pot plants. Super Mario Brother pot plants. These are available on printables.com as well. Found these in the directory and I had to print them because I'm a Mario fan. I mean, look behind me. Come on. I got Mario stickers on my wall. They came out pretty good, but I found a case where I was lazy. I printed these on the Bambu P1P as well. And I got lazy with supports. So tell me which one. I don't know if you can see it on the camera. This one I didn't print with supports. And underneath it, there's a bunch of stringing where there's some overhangs where I should have supported it. So there's a lot of stringing here. So this one I classified as a failure. I haven't printed another one yet, but I did print the pipe. This is a pipe, planar pipe. I printed it in yellow as well. It came out really nice. And I used supports on this one. It's a little bit dirty on here, but I could a quick sanding will get rid of that really quick. I use organic supports here. I call them tree supports. So if you hear me interchange the Prusa and Bambu terms, because Bambu calls them tree supports with theirs, they have tree supports over there. Prusa calls them organic supports. I'll call them tree supports when I shouldn't call them tree supports, or when I shouldn't call them, I just mix and match the terms. Nothing personal. The pipe came out okay. The next thing is the question mark block. Both of these came out great in both colors. Yep, question mark blocks, and they are pot. Again, these are pot plants things. They have a hole in the bottom, so you can plant whatever you want in here. Plant some herbs. Put a flower in here. I don't know what you want to plant, but you got Mario planters for a pot. Came out really nice. In the purple, this is the one I used last week as well. This is the Polyterra pastel colors. There's an official name for this color. I'm going to memorize it, but I just called them the pastel colors from the Easter pack because that's what they're from. And it's the yellow, blue, and purple. And we're going to be showing the blue off later print today. That is the question mark. Ow. That is the question mark box. And then we have the block. Just the ordinary block. In both the yellow and the purple. Came out nice. I really need to start uploading photos to printables. I printed half the models up there. I do videos on them, but I don't take pictures. I used to take pictures all the time, but I don't take pictures anymore. I just do videos. So I print them and then I forget about them and then I don't upload them. But hopefully you'll see these models, some nice photos up there on printables.com once I get done with print all the things and get that up there. So that's the next thing we printed. That is the printed potted plants for Mario. That's a lot of P's. And for my final print, this is one I'm quite proud of. This one took a little bit to do. I did it on 2 different printers, and we used the Polyterra pastel blue on here as well. And this is currently the number one. This is currently the number one model on printables, and this is the mobile Exo-Suit phone stand. Yes, the mobile Exo-Suit phone stand. And I'll put my phone in here just to show you how it works in a bit. But it can expand and contract to meet your phone's dimensions. They have 2 models up there, I believe. with different dimensions. But it was multiple parts. The blue parts I printed on my Prusa Mini, and the yellow parts I printed on the Bambu P1P. Really nice, really nice. And I use the, there's two different sets of models up there. There's a group set, which is easier to do. And then there's like individual pieces where if you really want to get granular with the colors, there's more pieces. I just went with the group pieces because it'd be quicker to print. But now that I'm looking at this, I'm like, man, there's so much I can update and change and do different colors and really make this shine. If I put my phone on here, it looks pretty nice. It looks pretty nice. Yeah. And it has little hands where it can hold the wire. You saw my light there in the reflection. It can hold the wire, your charge wire, once you're not charging the phone. Now, I did have some issues with this when I was printing it. I like to talk about my issues that I had, so you can learn from them too. Even on the description they have of this print, they say, make sure you print the arms and legs to be sturdy. Buona didn't do that. Buona got really, really cheap with the infill. And guess what happened? When I was putting it together, the legs broke. One of the legs just snapped in half because I didn't put that much infill on it. And that's the blue legs, the blue parts here. It broke right at the joint there because I went really cheap on the infill. So print these to be sturdy. Don't be like one and do like 10% rectilinear. What I do? I think I did 10% rectilinear or something like that. And I should have been like 15 or 20%. A little bit stronger to go with it. It actually feels kind of fragile. And I think if I print these a little bit more sturdier, it would be probably more practical than just a showpiece at the moment. So yes, this is the mobile Exo-Suit phone stand in two different colors. We got the pastel blue and the pastel yellow from Polyterra. Came out really nice. I'm really proud of that one. Printed on the Prusa Mini Plus, and also the Bambu P1P. All right, guys. That's all I got this week. Thank you so much for joining us for Print All the Things. Make sure you follow my socials. I post Print All the Things on Buona Labs, my Buona Labs YouTube channel, and my Buona Labs Twitter channel. But you can also follow me on twitter.com/Buona for all my other main content. If you want to support me, patreon.com/Buona. Thank you so much for everybody who's been supporting me on Patreon. These names, you see them on the screen now. They're actually amazing. So thank you so much for all the patrons. You guys are the best. And yeah, discord.gg/Buona. We offer Polymaker filament giveaways every week. We do two different ones, 2 rolls per week on Polymaker from Polymaker.com. Thank you, Polymaker, for sponsoring the stream, by the way. Thank you so much. Polymaker sponsors the stream. You probably noticed, hey, you're using nothing but Polymaker filament. That thing behind me right there, that I just hit with my finger. All Polymaker filament. It's amazing. Amazing. Thanks for watching the show. I'll see you in the next Print All the Things. Have fun, everybody. See you next time.